there's an awful lot of people in Northern Ireland who would not agree with him at all.
I always find the term "the end justifies the means" to be too sort of simplistic in a way. From this film and the character I played, Martin McGuinness, there were many times where people said that was his position, but it wasn't really. I mean, he felt he was forced into a situation when he was very young because of the terrible situation he grew up in. It was sort of the social situation. It was basically an apartheid state almost in the north of Ireland. And when people demonstrated to try and change that with civil disobedience, they were attacked by the forces of the state. So I remember Martin saying one time that he was not ashamed of having joined the IRA, that when his community was attacked, he would be ashamed if he had not joined the IRA. So it's not so much a sort of an ends justifying the means as a reaction to a situation that he saw as intolerable. People can agree or disagree with that situation, but I think there's more to it than simply him seeing the ends justifying the means. It was a strategy he felt was imposed on them that they had to follow for a long time, and perhaps a lot of people would think he followed that strategy for too long and took too long to come to the position of negotiation, and I would be one of those people who would say that, but that's open to debate. I think there's many people, not just terrorists, but government ministers and army chiefs and all around the world direct people to commit violence. Whether they feel that I've never been in that position, fortunately, so I don't know, but whether they feel responsibility for the actions of, like whether the President of the United States feels responsible for the bombing of Libya or Syria and the resulting refugee crisis. I don't know. They should. I think Martin McGuinness, in the context of this film, I don't think it was an attempt to justify his position. His argument was it was a war. There was a war, a civil war, and people on both sides did terrible things. Now, we didn't really get into whether he personally felt responsibility. I suspect he did, and deep down he did have feelings about that. And certainly he had regrets about certain incidents that happened, and one of them is in the graveyard scene in the film. I think clear. So he definitely had regrets. Whether he felt it was blood on his hands more so than anybody else, I would argue not.
I think, hopefully and gladly, the armed conflict is over. That's still in a state of suspension about how they're going to continue with the power sharing situation in Northern Ireland. So it's an ongoing situation. But the stomach and the desire for violent conflict, I believe, is over. I hope over forever. I think it's, as I say, a divide in Ireland. There will always be a divide in that part of Ireland because of the structure, the societal structure. There being almost a direct split between a Protestant loyalist, people who want to remain in Britain, and a Catholic, on the whole, who want to become a part of United Ireland. So there will always be a divide. Now, as to whether they can coexist, and as to whether Ireland will unify one day is another matter. The most important thing is that the guns remain and the bombs remain locked away, as far as I can see. And then please may that continue, and let's hope that a peaceful resolution will continue and they will find a route to power sharing soon. It It needs to happen, otherwise there will be direct rule from London, and nobody wants that, particularly London. Well, it's not outside yet, is it? We're negotiating. And this is all part of the main debate, a very important part of the debate. Whatever happens within the country of Northern Ireland, there will always be a divide. And those people who my character represented, Dr. Ian Paisley, are fiercely loyalist. They believe they are Brits. They're the only people who talk about being Brits in the whole of Britain. The British on the mainland don't say we're Brits. So it's an interesting thing. It's an identity thing. So I think there will always be a resistance from their point of view. How you get around that, I don't know. It's a difficult one. It's a conundrum. But let's see how this all unfolds.
And I think the nationalist community accepted a long time ago that you cannot coerce the loyalist people into a united Ireland. It can't be done, and it shouldn't be done. So, having accepted that, they now realise that it's through persuasion, and in my estimation, it is changing. There are huge economic reasons and cultural reasons for United Ireland, for a number of loyalist people to realise that actually a United Ireland makes sense on so many different levels. And as you say, in the context of Brexit, it makes even more sense to have a border on the island of Ireland that is a border between the European Union and the United Kingdom seems absurd. Even more absurd than the border that was created in 1922, where you have the most northerly county in Ireland is part of the Republic, and it's connected by a small piece of land about 12 miles wide, which is absurd, you know. So hopefully common sense will prevail.
I don't have a political view on this, but I can say I know that what that Colm is saying makes sense. There's an awful lot of people in Northern Ireland who would not agree with him at all.